Alright, this is a quick test of the PS4 broadcasting. I've got the audio set so that we should be receiving microphone input now. I did one a little earlier where I was having a look at a Thargoid outside the station and I thought I had the microphone on, but apparently not. That's not how it's set. So I'm just going to do a little bounty hunting here.
Power plant capacity exceeded.
And my Viper Mark III. He's wanted.
Target shields offline. Target destroyed.
5,000. Decent materials. Not really. Yeah, plenty of those. Turned off on the previous one, it seemed to have the messages on from other people by default. So I've turned off that, so we should be getting a full screen broadcast now. I'll have a look at it a bit later and see if that's what is actually happening. Okay, somebody mining in a federal gunship. Interesting. This is a PS4 Pro, just for those interested. It does pretty well on this machine. It's not quite as good as my PC, but it's pretty close. And I like the controller, and I like the various little bits and pieces you get with the PS4 that come along with it. Those of you who aren't familiar with Elite, this is a game based on a 1984 video game that I played back when I was a youngster. It has a long history, including the original game called Elite, which was on an 8-bit game, had hidden vector graphics, which in those days was special. The second in the series was called Frontier Elite 2, which is a 16-bit game, released on the Atari and, originally released on the Amiga, the Atari and the PC. Elite 3 was called Frontier First Encounters, which was also released on those platforms in an unfinished state. And took a while before it was playable. So this would have been Elite 4. And sometimes people still refer to it as Elite Four. The difference here being that all the other games were single-player games. This is a multiplayer game. So, if you choose to play on the open play or private group settings options, then you're able to play with other people. If you play in solo, then you play on your own, but the what's called the background simulation is shared still. So any results of your actions, your trading, your bounty hunting, whatever, are shared by everybody.
Flight assist off.
It's got a
Flight assist
much more of a feel of a simulator. It has quite a steep learning curve. It's certainly not an arcade game. There's a very large community. Compared to things like Fortnite. It's large enough for me. Gets regular updates. So this one, the last update was 3.2, I believe, which was a minor update. Just bought an extra ship and some content related to two of the alien species, mainly to do with the Guardians. But I think we got an extra Thargoid ship. Possibly some stuff that we haven't found yet. What's interesting about the game is that it is built to be played in a one-to-one relationship map of the galaxy. So this is our galaxy, the Milky Way. It's about 100,000 light years across. Most of the play is centered around what's called the bubble, which is this area here, which includes Sol, and Sol is the if you go to Sol, you can actually have a look at the map there. No, I can't. I'm not sure if I have the permit for Sol, but I can have a look at the map, I think. So you can find Earth in there. Mars in this universe is terraformed. Venus, Mercury. So if you go to Mercury, you find that you can fly down to the planet's surfaces, and you can dock at cities and space and planetary outposts. You can also dock and trade from these space stations. But to a reasonable extent, it's an accurate simulation of the galaxy, including orbits, day-night cycles. Distances are accurate. Obviously the way that you get around in a spaceship isn't accurate because we use things like hyperspace and frameshift drives. But you can find nebula that you can explore. Which are some of the prettier, oops, I went straight past that, prettier regions of space. When you're flying around in a nebula, you get that coloured background with and also as you hyperspace towards it in jumps, because you can only jump between like a low jump range ship would be about 10 light years, or even less than that, I think. A high jump range ship would be upwards of 60 light years. But 60 light years on a map this side is nothing. So it takes a while. If you want to get to somewhere like Colonia, actually that's not Colonia, I don't know where that is. It's not Colonia. Oh yes it is, it is Colonia. Because that is one of the new engineers that have been introduced in this patch. Actually I might make a... Yeah, you can see that Colonia itself is inside of a nebula. So Colonia is a much smaller bubble of humanity that's been created around a spaceship that made a jump about a year ago, I think, perhaps a bit more. And if we change the map to show... oh, it is on the colonies, that's good. You can see that there are actual colonized planets out here. Star systems, I should say. If I go to the search, let's try searching for Colonia. There you go. There's Colonia. That was the original place that it was a spaceship run by a gentleman or a cyborg called Jax, and he was meaning to jump to the other side of the galaxy into a place called Beagle Point.
Scan
but
detected.
He ended up here. Oops, somebody's scanning me. Who's that? Oh, it was just the police. I'll look around and see if there's any good bounties to be had. I'm playing in my own private group here, mainly because I don't other commanders can be troublesome, but also I don't want to be competing with them for bounties, so it's more it's not that I'm worried about being destroyed by other connivers. It does happen. It's just part of the game as far as I'm concerned. This is more to do with just wanting to maximise my bounty efficiency. But if somebody wanted to join me, all they'd have to do is send me a request to join my group. And then I can accept that request and they can join me here if they wanted to. Now, unlike things like No Man's Sky or whatever, you can't, in your ship, you can't join directly with somebody if they're in a... okay, who are you? Jacob Daniel, you'll have a bounty, won't you? He's dangerous, he's in a cobra. Now if I take him on my Viper, I'm liable to have a reasonable fight on my hands. He's a dangerous pilot. The ratings go from dangerous to elite. I think he's going to jump away.
Frameshift charge detected.
You can see that he's flying away from the ring here, ring system. Not much point opening fire on him because he'll jump away before I can do any damage. There you go. That there is his wake, high wake. You can scan those if you have to add equipment, and you can find out where they have jumped to. If it's a high wake, they'll be jumping to another system. If it's a low wake, they'll be just jumping to Frameship, or what's called Super Cruise in the current system. So normally I'll be doing a lot more attacking than I am at the moment, but I find it difficult to multitask. There's two of those. And it wouldn't be too difficult normally, but those green guys are the police, so if I attack him, they should get involved. Except that they just jumped away. It's funny because the adder was following the police, which is weird. Reports of a crime. I wonder where that is. These are two guys I'm following.
Scan detected.
It's Mr. Vincent. Oh, he just ran out. Thank you. And you can have a look at a file that you've got targeted. You can see what their bounty is. This guy's got 24,000. That's not a great deal. This one here, it's clean, so he doesn't have a bounty. But he might be about to be attacked. So let's see if these pirates go after him. They are probably scanning it at the moment. We do have some police. This one might just open up and see if I can survive. So this craft I've got is only equipped with multi-cannons. Any real multi-cannons, but
Shields offline. Shields offline. Taking damage. Flight assist off. Flight assist on.
is that? Yes, they are.
Target shields online.
Taking a bit of losing here.
Under attack.
Let's just retreat.
Target shields offline.
Restore all that. Where's he shooting?
Target destroyed. Shields online.
When you destroy a target, you'll find that there are materials that they drop. And those materials can be used to create upgrades.
Cargo Cargo scoop deployed.
Oops. Doesn't work if you just point your ship at it. You have to point use the cargo scoop display in the. There we go. Something else.
Power plant capacity exceeded. Cargo scoop retracted. Target shields offline.
So I can get a shot on them before the police come. As long as you do significant damage, you'll get the.
Target destroyed. Target shields offline. Target destroyed.
Now,
Cargo scoop deployed.
if you've got a bigger ship, you would probably have limpets to go and collect your stuff, pick up little bits and pieces, but I haven't got limpets. I just pick them up.
Scale detected. Power plant capacity exceeded. Cargo scoop retracted.
Well, you'll notice that it keeps on flashing up that message. That my power plant limit is exceeded. That's because if you look at our modules, what I've done is I've got them set to a certain priority, so that when I've got my weapons out, various modules will just simply turn themselves off, including the cargo hatch. So when I put my weapons away, those things will come out. So if I put my weapons away now, like that, you should see the cargo hatch come online. There we go.
Cargo scoop deployed.
And then if I put my weapons out,
Power plant capacity exceeded. Cargo scoop retracted.
it will just automatically switch those ones off. You'll see them flashing, and they should go to red. Actually, yes. Again. Sometimes it takes a while before it actually does it. Okay. So it's been beaten. Dead before I get to it.
Target destroyed.
So as you're incurring bounties or getting bounties, you'll see them group up there. See them all displayed in transactions. Navigation, that shows you all the planets and stations in your local system. It also shows you nearby stars as well. You can set filters on that, so if you're only interested in certain things, you can do that. Contacts, that shows you all the ships and materials that are floating around you. Any cargo floating around, whatever, just objects in your local environment. Sub-targets is actually various modules on the ship that you've currently got targeted. It's quite common on larger ships to go for their power plant. Inventory, if you've got a manifest scanner, then you can also see what they're carrying as far as cargo is concerned. On the other side we have, this is your current status with your different ranks and your reputation with 3 major powers and also local factions, minor factions. Your modules, and you can spec, so this multi-cannon here has been engineered. You can use synthesis to rearm it if you've got the right materials. You can also have a look at what you've got in the way of what its stats are. Fire groups, that's just how your your 2 controller fire buttons are set up. You can switch between fire groups quite easily. All the cargo you've got, I don't have any. Materials that you've got. At the moment I think I'm pinning mine on my, yeah. So the materials I've got displayed are ones that I used for the blueprints that I've got pinned at the moment, which I believe are frameshift drive and multi-cannons. You can pin 1 per engineer, so the more engineers you have, the more flexible that gets. Since this, though, you can create more ammo. Various frameshift drive injection makes you jump further. Most of these are ammo. Some sort of heat sinks. You can also, when you're down on the planet, you can restock your SRV and repair it and refuel it. Just see if I can get another queue and then I'll go back to the station.